Yeah, hi there. This is tuxocher.com again. Welcome on my video channel. Today we want to talk a little bit about focus stacking. That's the technique where different images in different focusing layers of sharpness are later on calculated with a special software into one image. Focus stacking was multiple times topic here on my blog and even on some of my videos. And I did a comparison between Photoshop and Luminar NEO on focus stacking. And already back in 2016, I checked for the first time Helicon Focus and compared it to the Photoshop version at this time, and Photoshop didn't do a really good job at this time. Today we should do another comparison, and this time between the following programs. That is Helicon Focus, Photoshop, Luminar NEO, Affinity Photo, and ON1 Photo RAW. I've tried the mentioned programs in different scenarios. For example, the typical macro stacking where you shoot like 10-15 images of a close-up or a macro and then put them together in the software. And I also did focus stacking in landscape photography where you maybe only need 2 or 3 shots to get the scene from the very close foreground sharp to the background. Even you can do that with one shot, even with an ultra wide angle and a very close aperture. But at a first look, let's see the different programs in action. While Photoshop, Luminar NEO, and Helicon Focus, and I can execute as a plugin from Lightroom. That's no problem at all, but the operation of the programs or of the other programs like ON1 Photo RAW and Affinity Photo isn't difficult at all. So let's take a look at the different programs in action. I have timestamps here in the video description, so you can skip those parts, or you can move right away to the program that might be of interest for you. Okay, I prepared here a collection of different stacks. Here in Lightroom you see that, mushrooms and flowers, and of course some sort of landscape, I would say. And we start with the first one. Maybe take this flower here and stack this in Helicon Focus. That one I can execute right away here from Lightroom. First have to export the TIFF images and then we get into Helicon Focus. Okay, just use the default values and start render. That goes pretty quick, and as you can see here, that's a pretty good result for a stacked image, and we can save that, of course, as a TIFF image. Okay, we quit Helicon Focus, but Helicon Focus, this plugin always will import this new image, so I have to delete it. Okay, the next one we make, as an example, let's take this one. That's an extreme macro of an autumn leaf. I think it's 2:1 or even 3:1 magnification rate. I shot that with the AstrHori, which I did a separate video on. We export those one to TIFF. Okay. Now we call Affinity. Now we're calling Infinity and do a focus merge like this one here. Add the images. They are stored in here. Just mark them all and open them up. After that one, you say OK. And Infinity will focus merge those images. Okay, and as far as I can tell, that is a pretty good job on this image. We delete those one here and export that as a TIFF2. Of course, we choose TIFF 16-bit and export this image. And maybe the third one is to do it in Photoshop. We export those images as TIFF. Okay, they're exported. And then we can open up Photoshop and we take the one load images in stack. Say OK. OK. We mark the layers and then we choose blending, and this Photoshop chooses the right form that is stacking in opposition to panel. Now those images will be stacked into one image. Oh, that's a pretty good result, I guess. That's pretty okay. Now we export this as a TIFF2. Okay, I deleted the different layers, and now we will save again and save it as a 16-bit TIFF, of course. And here we got the result. Okay, I started here on ON1 RAW photo editing 2025. And maybe let's take a look on where we can go to stack. Let's take, for example, that one, and we mark the images, and then we go here to File and Create Focus Stack. Loading the images, and here you can mark all the images you want to include into the stack. I just marked them here, tried before, and then we hit save. Okay, we can see here the final image. It looks pretty good, except for those areas here, but maybe we have to check the other images first. Okay, that was the first example. We go back, and maybe we do this one here with the flower, and I mark all the TIFFs I shot with my Panasonic in this case. Mark them, and then we go to File and want to stack again. And now we can see that creating the focus stack is grayed out in the menu. There seems to be a maximum amount of images which ON1 can stack at a time. I played around with it. It seems to be around 14 images, but it also may be depending on the size of the different images. Okay, let's quit that. And then we do this here with the Luminar NEO. And here all got the images for the stack. And maybe we can do here the stack with the flower, like this. Pull them to the extension, like this. And then the stack can be started. I do a fast forward here too, so you don't have to wait too long. Okay, now we got here the stack. You know that I did a video on Luminar stacking, and they all save the images in a separate album. But looking at this one, that looks pretty good, but let's wait and see for the final comparison. Since I cannot show all the comparisons here, you can view them on my webpage. Maybe it's a little bit unfair to the other programs if I take Helicon Focus into the comparison, because Helicon Focus is of course a specialized program for focus stacking, and what can be determined basically with all the stacks carried out is that the specialist Helicon Focus, both in speed and in the stacking result, is in the first place. With ON1 Photo RAW, it's a little bit different. It has sort of a limitation on the number of images you can mark for a focus stack, and the limitation, according to my results, is around 14-15 images. So, but only for that limitation, ON1 Photo RAW is here on the last place. But remember, it's a general RAW converter. So if you don't need that much images for a focus stack, like let's say a typical close-up stack, you might only need 7 or 8 images regularly, so you could use ON1 Photo RAW for this one. When I tested this, I already occurred the same result on Luminar NEO as in the last comparison, and that is for the stacking module. Luminar NEO is reducing the final resolution of the final image. Maybe that's due to the fact that Luminar NEO tries to balance out the different part of the pictures, so it will cut a little bit of the resolution. For the programs Photoshop, Affinity Photo, and also Luminar NEO, with the listed restriction is that I've had kind of trouble to really determine the places on the second, third and fourth place. So I can't really judge that, because most of the time the images or the difference between the stacked images are so marginal, it's very difficult to tell the difference. On the other hand, sometimes one image stacked in Luminar NEO looks a little bit better than one stacked in Photoshop, and vice versa. But if you're interested in the different results, you can download the final images in full resolution from my webpage for your own judgment. Okay, that was my little review on the different programs on focus stacking, and if you have any questions to this, you might as well place them into the comments to this video or in the comment section of the corresponding blog post. And it would be nice if you consider this video helpful to place a like on the video, and I surely would appreciate if you subscribe my channel. That would help the channel a lot to produce videos like this. Okay, that was my little review on focus stacking with the different programs. And all I have to say is, till the next time, ciao, Tux Oche.